Kennedy, and today on the third episode of Girl Talk No Text, we'll be talking about colorism and its effect on dark-skinned women. So, unfortunately, my co-host couldn't be here today, so I brought in two special guests,
Markel
and Kamara,
and we are going to dive right into this topic. So, you guys know, we always start with a quote. So, today I have a quote from Gabrielle Union, and it says, "The standard of beauty and intelligence that has historically been praised by the oppressor has been adopted by the oppressed." So we're going to start off like, what does that quote mean to you guys? How do y'all feel about that?
Can you read it one more time?
Yeah. "The standard of beauty and intelligence that has historically been praised by the oppressor has been adopted by the oppressed."
I think that means the people who set the standards for beauty, they were at a privileged place. So their standards are somewhat unrealistic. So that makes people who don't meet those standards not feel good enough or feel pressured to be somebody they're not, or feel bad when they don't look like the next person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the last part where it says adapted by the oppressed, so the people who feel like they are not good enough, they have took what they're supposed to be and changed it into something that was more realistic for them.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with you with that. Like, the people that set this standard of beauty or set what beautiful women look like now as a culture, or specifically as a black culture, now we're like, oh crap, if we don't fit into this standard, then we're not beautiful, we're not smart, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in order to start off this topic, we have to dive back and look at history, because if you don't look at history, then it's just going to repeat itself.
Right.
So definitely, like, starting off during the time of slavery, the brown paper bag test. Now, I think, to me, that was, people always be like, oh, you're light skinned, you don't know, you passed the brown paper bag test, so you can't talk about certain issues. And I'm like, okay, I might be the same complexion as the brown paper bag test, so I don't know, I'm right in the middle. I mean, I could have been in the house or the field. He gotta pick his day, whichever one he want me to do, that's what I gotta pick. So I know for y'all, being dark-skinned women, like, how does that make you feel when people be like, oh, you're darker than a brown paper bag? Or have y'all ever experienced something like that?
No, I've never personally, nobody has personally said that to me specifically. But in general, comparing me to a lighter person, it's saying the same thing.
Right.
It's basically saying, you're not light enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's something you can't control. So I don't know why people have turned that into a judgment or a standard, or made that equivalent to, for example, light-skinned girls have pretty hair, pretty eyes, dark-skinned girls have nappy hair, or that has nothing to do with skin color. That's all genetic. So I don't understand how they became one.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That makes total sense. And, like, a lot of the times, it hasn't really been my skin, but a lot of the way that I act, they will contribute to my skin color. Like, oh, you're hostile. That's a trait of an angry black woman. So, like, it kind of makes you feel the same. Like, oh, lighter skinned women, they're more chill. They're more, like, they're praised a lot more than dark skinned women. And it just doesn't make sense to me, because at the end of the day, we're all black. At the end of the day, back in slavery, we were all oppressed. So we're all the same. And being compared, oh, you would have been a house slave, or you would have been in the fields. We didn't have freedom.
Right.
We're all in the same place.
Right. Regardless, we was all, listening to the master, whatever.
Yes. Right.
But, like, and I think, like you said, like, no matter our shades, when we're pulled over by the police, they see one person, they see one color, and that's black. Yes. I don't care if you light skin, dark skin, brown skin, whatever, you still black to them. You still not as light as them.
Right.
And like you were saying, Markel, where light skinned people, and okay, let me just put this disclaimer. We are not bashing light skinned people at all. Like, this is just the point of view, of different shades of brown. And, like you said, the lighter girls having, pretty eyes, or mixed girls having pretty eyes, whatever. Baby, that's a genetic mutation.
Yes,
like, the brown eyes are, like, the standard of it. And when you have blue, green, whatever, that's a genetic mutation.
Exactly.
Nothing wrong with it at all. But don't bash us, or don't bash girls that have, quote-unquote, nappy hair, or, not pretty eyes, just because we don't look like how your standard of beauty looks. And so that goes into, like, in the black community. And I know last month's episode we were talking about black love, and how dark-skinned women or darker brown-skinned women aren't deemed as desirable by black men, by some black men, because we don't have the nice, naturally curly hair or the loose curls. We got the tight, kinky curls, whatever. And, it just, it honestly just affects us, emotionally. You look in the mirror and you just like, okay, am I really everything that they said I am? Right. Am I really angry because I'm black? Or is that just my personality? Or am I really irate because someone made me mad or because I'm black? Right. It's never like, they never look at the cause and effect of something. It's always, oh, you're black, you're a dark-skinned girl, or you're automatically loud, angry, all this stuff.
It gets to a place where you have to justify your feelings.
Yeah.
If a light-skinned girl is mad, it's because she's mad. If a black girl is mad, it's because she's always mad already. Right. So anything can set her off. It's not the same. But at the same time, for example, we run into people who say, oh, I only date light-skinned women, or I only date foreign women. It's hurtful, especially when you're in that place of life where you're growing up and you care about how people look at you, and you care about how males or females, whatever you're attracted to, see you. So that's very hurtful. And in the same breath that Kennedy said, no, we're not bashing light-skinned people. This is one of those issues where you never fully understand until you're in that position at the same time. So, no, we're not bashing you, but at the same time, we're not facing the same issues. Right. Dark-skinned and light-skinned girls will never be able to compare their issues because it's two different things.
Right, and I feel like there's a difference between preference and discrimination. When you prefer one thing over the other, you can just straight say, oh, I prefer this woman just because that's what I'm attracted to. But when you go to the place to belittle a darker skinned woman, to uplift your preference, that's discriminatory, and that's what hurts us. Because you say, oh, I like light skinned women because dark skinned women, they're aggressive, they take too much control. I like to be in that's not all dark skinned women. You never know. You might have one experience with a darker skinned woman versus another. So it just doesn't correlate when you say you like a light skinned woman because you don't like that's not preference.
Right, and like you said, preference is something that you prefer. Like, and you can prefer a light skinned woman over a dark skinned woman. Fine, cool. You like who you like. You're attracted to who you're attracted to. But at the same time, don't belittle me just because I'm not your preference.
Right. I don't fit into your standard.
Right, just because I don't fit into your standard of beauty does not make me less beautiful, than the next person. And like they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Unless you think that you're ugly, whatever anyone else says doesn't matter. As long as you know your self-worth and you know that I'm a beautiful black woman, I'm a beautiful dark-skinned girl, like, no one else's opinion matters because you still walk with your head, high, so your crown don't tilt. Like, you make sure your back is straight. Like the princesses do when they be bouncing the books on their head. Yeah, make sure you straight. And so also, like, I remember when I was younger, like, now I want to be a judge, but when I was younger, I used to be like, oh, I want to be an actress. I want to be on TV, blah, blah, blah. And I remember people telling me, like, this is not an industry for black women. And it's just like, okay, well, now that's something that I know that I can't do. It's not that you can't do it, but it's harder to do than if you are a light-skinned woman or if you're a white woman. And it's just, like, stuff that we are, held back against. And when I say we, y'all probably be like, Kennedy, you're not dark-skinned. Okay, but I'm brown-skinned. Like, I'm still not light-skinned, curly hair, pretty eyes, whatever. And so I do still have some of these same, discrepancies about it. And so in acting, there's a whole Zendaya debate going around where if she was dark-skinned, she wouldn't have the same fame she does have now. And I feel like that is true, and she admits that. She admits that she has pretty girl privileges or she has light-skinned girl privileges, which is true, but I feel like for all the little dark-skinned girls, there's no, big models, for them to look up to.
But that also goes to show how important representation is. Nobody is going to want to go after a career or a profession that they never see anybody who looks like them. Because that automatically, whether it's for a good reason or bad reason, that makes you outcast. Nobody wants to be outcast. Everybody wants to be treated the same as the next person. So when you go in a room auditioning for a pageant or whatever, and you're the only black girl in the room, that already makes you stand out. Whether it's for a good reason or bad reason, everybody's already looking at you because you're the only one who's different. And yes, Zendaya probably wouldn't have as much, I'd say, popularity over fame because she's talented. People have to start realizing that skin color is literally just skin color. That has nothing to do with your culture. That has nothing to do with how you act. That has nothing to do about how you feel about certain topics. That has nothing to do with how you carry yourself. Physical is so different from what's inside. And there's no, you can never say. The same way you can see a light-skinned girl with pretty hair and pretty eyes, you can see a dark-skinned girl with pretty hair and pretty eyes. The same way you can see a dark-skinned girl with nappy hair, which is, no hair is really nappy, but just harder to manage. You can see a light-skinned girl, the same thing. So, no skin color is ever equivalent to anything beyond that, genetic-wise, personality-wise, anything like that. So, yeah.
I completely agree. And for, like, the Zendaya topic, like Markel said, she's very talented. And where she started off was a show called Shake It Up with a complete white woman. So she was a mixed girl. She was kind of like that color representation for us black girls. So the fact that she was able to break through all those barriers, even though Bella Thorne had the start because she was a white woman in the acting industry and it was made for white women. So the fact that she was able to break over that, she was able to start her own singing career. She was able to go on into acting in more mature roles because when you grow up with somebody on all these Disney shows, all you're going to be able to see them is that kid actor. But because she was able to go into much more mature roles like Euphoria and Malcolm and Marie, like she was able to really brand herself to be able to go beyond what people thought she would.
And it's like, regardless of your skin type, whatever, that right there is a prime example of the essence of a black woman, like we talked about in the first episode. It's always like black women can conquer and do so much more than anyone else thought they, could ever do. That we are, okay, Zendaya was at the same level with Bella Thorne, but look who is still in fame. Still growing, still growing, still working, all this stuff. And I'm not saying that Bella Thorne may not even want to do acting anymore. That's whatever for her. But that just shows that Zendaya used that platform and got ahead. But now she's ahead, and we're still missing that dark skin representation. So, as a black culture, yes, love to see her up there. But what about all the little dark skinned girls around? Again, not bashing any light skinned people at all. That's not what we're doing here at all. We're just drawing light to the people that are treated as inferior, in the black community. And I think Kara said this in the very first episode, that there's levels to this. You have the white people as a whole at the top. You got white men, then white women. Then you get the black community. Black men, then you got black women, but you got light-skinned black women ahead, and then you got dark-skinned black women. It's like no matter what you do, it's always you're at the bottom of the list. No matter how much you try to fight, you're always at the bottom of the list. It just seems like you're never good enough. Being, darker always is like, it makes you like, I don't know, hate yourself is a strong word, but it makes you doubt yourself.
Yes, and it makes you have a target on your back.
Right, it makes you doubt your culture. It makes you doubt your melanin, It's something that you should be proud of. Not going outside and sunburning easily. Let me tell you, I go to school with a whole bunch of people that don't look like me, and they be red as a tomato. And I just be like, yeah, you see me? Like, I just got a little tan, that's it. I'm not burning or anything. And I just think it's so many benefits of having, that dark amount of melanin in you that just goes unnoticed in the community.
Yeah. But it goes to show you, it starts with you. You can't make everybody else realize how talented, how smart, how much they should appreciate you until you appreciate yourself. And there's no need to keep downing yourself or being upset about something. You can't change. Your skin color is your skin color forever. You're going to be black forever, so you might as well embrace it and use it to the best of your ability. And even when we're not talking about fame, black girls surprise people every day. The fact that I'm a straight A student surprises people. The fact that I know how to speak surprises people. So people are always going to have this expectation for you, but that's just why you got to up them, show them how much more you have to offer. Show them it's more than me just being a black girl. No, I'm smart. I can dance, I can sing, I can do whatever I put my mind to. And that mindset you have takes a lot over you, because if every time you go somewhere you're thinking about what the next person thinks of you or thinking about the negative things people are saying about you, you're never going to be able to show who you truly are to the fullest extent and be who you are. At the end of the day, who you are is what's going to take you through, not the person you're trying to be or the person you're pretending you are.
And then, like, you're never going to be able to be truly happy because there's always going to be people, whether they're black people, whether they're white people, whether they're mixed people, everybody is always going to have something to say about you.
Mm-hmm.
So you're never going to be truly happy until you're confident in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that took me a long time to learn because there's always been boys I had a crush on, but they liked the white girl. There's always been boys I had a crush on, but they liked the light skin girl. And so I'm just sitting here like, where do I come into play? Like, when am I going to find the person who actually likes me for me? But you can't impress everybody in this world, so you're going to have to make sure you're comfortable with yourself and you don't change yourself for anybody else. Because no matter how there's always going to be somebody jealous. They might not want to say it. They might say, oh, I'm better than you. But you wouldn't even, if you knew that you were better than me, you wouldn't have to, that goes unnoticed. That goes unsaid. You wouldn't have to belittle me to make sure that you feel like you're above me.
Definitely.
So just, like, it just goes unsaid. Like, if you walk in a room and exude confidence, nobody can tell you anything.
That's the thing. Confidence is key, y'all. It's key because I can't sing to save my life, but I be walking around this house screaming to the top of my lungs. Don't put on no song that I know word for word. I'm singing it with my heart desire. Like I say, people call me Kenyonce. People don't call me that, but like anybody that I talk to the regular and I be singing, they be like, "Girl, I wish you shut up." I be like, "Yo," when they call me Kenyonce, right? I can sing all day long. I don't care what nobody say.
Started on no Mary J. Blige.
Listen, okay, nobody. What are you singing, Markel? I'm singing my song and I'm killing it. I need you to tell me.
You don't gotta tell me that I ate because I know.
Ate and left no
I
crumbs.
told me, Kamara, she don't want no smoke. Mine, I don't want to go head toe to toe because at the end of the day, I'm going to
that karaoke mic.
That's it. Like, it's nothing. And my mother used to always tell me growing up, I never understood, but when we would go shopping, she would say, she would always have me get a black Barbie doll. She would never allow me to get a white Barbie doll. I'm thinking, man, it's just a Barbie doll.
Right.
Like, most of them are white, like, you know. And it was because she wanted me to see the good in me. She wanted me to have stuff that shows who I am or represent who I am. And I also realized, in the same sense, I know it's wrong, but I didn't want to get a black Barbie doll because at the time, the black Barbie dolls, their hair was so plastic. Like, I mean, I know it's all plastic hair, but the white girls, they had to shine and then you could brush through their hair. The black girl, you had to keep that styling or your Barbie doll is done. Okay? I'm the type I like to play with my Barbie dolls, okay? So, if I can't take her ponytail, I don't want her. So, yes, but then I started, you know, that's me. You know, I could be the black girl that they model after in the next Barbie box. So, I just had to keep, everybody's getting somewhere. You know, the whole world, we've always started from slavery and having no freedom and being the bottom of the barrel. The world has to progress along with us. So, you know, you can't expect to go in a store and see everything that the white people has. Just the same as our hair products are locked up all the time. Their hair products are sitting out. So you just assume all black people are thieves or whatever the case may be. You just have to realize everybody else is still learning as well. So you just have to be patient with the process. You can't be bitter about everything you see and can't make everything a hashtag or a quote because everybody's learning and everybody doesn't have as much exposure to certain problems as other people did.
Right, and just like Markel said, we always wanted to grab that white Barbie doll because it was so much harder to find the ones that looked like us. And when we would look at like the Bratz movies, it was all like, even though there was Yasmin and there was Sasha, the ones who we were always focusing on was Chloe and Jade because they had the lighter skin tones. They were always in the front of the picture, and then Yasmin and Sasha were in the back, simply for representation. But they were never. It was never about them. They were never the leaders. Or when you go to Barbie, the name is Barbie. Barbie, no matter, like the original Barbie, the blonde girl with the pretty curls with the pink dress on. To me, I wanted to be Barbie all my life. She is so beautiful. She is so beautiful. But then I saw her and I was like, oh, she's alright. But I like my Sasha back there. Right. Sasha. She acts like me. She got that attitude. She walks in the room. She got the walk. That's the one I want. I'm not stiff. I like to do my thing. So she was always the one. Like, once my mom got it instilled in my head to get dolls and things that looked like me, that's all I wanted.
And when I think about that, I think about Destiny's Child. So now I know Beyonce was the leader of the group, whatever. But it was always something about that, it just never sat right with me. I understand Beyonce, extremely talented, Michelle, LaToya, everybody was in the group. It was very talented. But Kelly, I think, from my own personal opinion, Kelly is the prettiest one in the group. I'm not saying the other women are gorgeous as well, but that Kelly Rowland, let me tell y'all, that lady is gorgeous.
Barbie.
Yep.
Like she like everything that she does. Like she has the voice. She has the presence. She has the walk. She has she always keeps herself up. And then like a lot of her music, like when you listen to like her music, like Dirty Laundry and stuff, it was about like the hard times that she went through, and like it's depth in her music. Not her music isn't always sexualized. Like she doesn't have to fit the norm that sex sells. She talks about what really happens to her, and if that's not successful, then she doesn't like she's always been.
Well, prime example, Kelly Rowland's as talented as Beyonce, but Beyonce will always be Beyonce. And she'll always be Kelly. Yeah, like that's just it. And then let me just put it out here right now. Telling somebody you're pretty for a black girl, or you're the prettiest dark-skinned girl I've ever met, that's not a compliment.
Nope.
No compliment should ever come with a condition.
Yep.
If you have something to say after you already gave me a compliment, but
leave it.
Keep it. Keep it.
That's
like saying, I'm sorry, but I feel like. No, you're canceling it out. So we can say, you're pretty, and leave it at you're pretty. You're beautiful, leave it at you're beautiful. Not because of this, not because of that, not for this, not for that. Because you are, and because you're you. So
backhanded compliments will never make anybody feel good.
Yes.
If you you can just tell me simply that I'm pretty, and I will appreciate it so much more as if you were, oh wow, what are you mixed with? You can't be that pretty just by being a black girl. What's in you? Are you sure you're only black? That it's not the same. It doesn't feel good for us because you're making it seem like if we're just black, that don't make no sense. You have to be something else to be more desirable. Because I wouldn't look your way if you were just black. If I thought you were just black.
Right.
That's why I'm starting off my sentence by, you're so pretty. What are you mixed with?
And that's, like you said, that's a backhanded compliment. If you can't just leave it at, you're pretty, I don't even want it. Tell me I'm ugly, because I don't want it. I don't even want it. Just keep it at that point, because at that point it's not a compliment. Like, you just said stuff to just talk. And like, I know there's so many black girls with like good hair, or dark skinned girls with good hair. They be like, oh, what you mixed with, black and Negro? That's all I'm mixed with. Black even black girl.
People ask you, when they see long hair and they say, oh, is that a weave? What you mean?
Right.
So you're telling me I can't have long hair because I'm not light skinned, or I can't have long hair because I'm not...
No, this is your hair. It looks so natural.
It is natural. It's me. Y'all not have inches. My hair swing, okay? Don't do me. That's all I gotta say. So, yeah, I wear weave. It's a choice.
Right.
It's my preference, actually. And I'm not saying, oh, I like my ponytails because my real hair is... No. It's my preference because that's what I like. And that's that. There's no other reason.
Right.
Yeah. My hair like to swing. I like when I walk outside and it hit the bundles and the bundles turn wavy. That's what I want. Okay, my real hair, when I go outside, it pop up a little enough for me with it. But I like my wave a little bit better. It's because that's what I like.
But don't get it twisted. I got hang time.
Yeah,
look.
Time.
Period.
Yes. And then, like, also with the styles. Light skinned girls with their hair in a bush, usually, sometimes, where their hair in a bush. But as soon as a dark skinned girl do that, it's nappy. You need to go get your hair done. You can't even comb through your hair.
Right.
I'm like my big pinky curls.
Can you run your fingers through
Right.
Right.
First of all, you're not supposed to be touching it.
Right.
So what are you talking about that for?
It's for me. It's what I like. You don't have to comment on
Right.
it.
Yeah. People don't understand. Leave your opinions where they at. But I think, all in all, with colorism, people don't understand that it affects two sides of the story. It has an effect on light-skinned women with easily being deemed as colorists. Or for loving themselves, they're deemed as colorists. But for dark-skinned women, for loving themselves or for having some doubts because of what society tells them, now they're insecure. Now they're envious of light-skinned people. Now they want to be light-skinned. And I think that creates a false narrative in the head of all the little dark-skinned girls out there. So to all you beautiful dark-skinned girls, love yourselves, be confident in yourselves. You are beautiful. Don't let anyone tell you any differently. You guys have any closing things?
And for the light-skinned girls, we haven't talked about y'all much, but just because y'all light-skinned, that does not mean y'all aren't talented or y'all got where y'all are because of your looks.
Yep.
You know, you had to have something to get somewhere. So your looks can only take you but so far. So yeah, Kamar, do you have anything to say?
Every shade of black is beautiful.
Yep.
You gotta embrace yourself to make other people understand that you're worth something. Because if you are insecure, you don't understand why you are the way you are, you're never gonna get nowhere, and nobody's gonna respect you. Nobody's gonna love you if you can't love yourself first.
Yep. So in order to close out this episode, we're gonna close with a little Black history fact. So today we'll be highlighting Elena Mays. Now you can probably see her on Instagram. She's a mom of 7. Can't even imagine.
Right.
No, think you can't even know. Right. But she is the first Black person to get a PhD in survey methodology. I can't tell you what that is, but she got it and she know it well because that's her business.
Yeah.
What's Tabitha say? Yeah, that's your business.
That's your business.
Right. So we are the blueprint. We are the teachers. We are the history. We are everything. And never forget that. So to close out the 3rd episode of Girl Talk No Text, I'm Kennedy.
I'm Raquel.
And I'm Kamara.
And thank you for joining us and see you next month.
Bye.
Bye.